Hey guys, Sam here, and welcome to another episode of a Pokemon Duel Road to Master League. Today we continue with the Elite tier, pretty hype. And as you can see at the beginning of these videos, what I will do first, and in some clips I will show you the ranking, which right now I am at 159, I believe it is. My Vegas right here is kind of blurry in the numbers, so... but you know, it's really early in the month, and you know, that's why I am so high up. You know, especially playing against the people that I've been playing against. 17-1 record so far. It's been, you know, well, at this point in the gameplay, it's been really good for me, you know, except for one loss that we won't have to talk about, thankfully. But right now, so last episode, Leader League, we saw the first promotion, which was pretty hype, and we are going to have 6 videos in the series. Right now, I am done with... you know, the whole thing, and, you know, you will see what happens later. As you can see, I am battling, you know, against what would be for, you know, someone, legit 1600 player, really high up in the ranking opponent, you know, I guess, which, you know, is, yeah, it's fine, but as you can tell, I am kind of a smurf, and, you know, have a little newbie disguise, so that's pretty hype. If your opponent has a Deoxys speed, this is what you want to do. You want to open up with a figure that is, you know, either 3 or 2 MP in where I put my Articuno, and then your 3 MP piece, you're going to put it right where I have Greninja. This way you guarantee that, you know, even if the Deoxys speed covers one space, it is not going to affect the your side of the board that much, because as you can see with Articuno and Sceptile, I already have those 4 free spaces for me to move around with, so that's pretty good. So this guy is carrying a hurdle jump from what I saw, and the 100% obvious thing to do right now is just to, would be to, you know, cover my goal, because I don't have another 2 MP Pokemon. If I did, that was a free surround on the Deoxys, but obviously he saw that I was not able to, you know, get to him, so he could have just hurdle jump, and that was going to be pretty much it. This is a terrible fucking move by my opponent. Right there I do get a little advertisement, so yeah. Just check that out, and the sound is back on. For some reason the Mobies and whatever, it's, you know, kind of weird. He does decide to gold block with the Metagross, and right now it's just the open field for Reshiram and Zekrom, so that's pretty nice. I do want to, you know, kind of move around, and first of all get my Reshiram on the field so I can go for the Deoxys. So obviously you can get, you know, eliminated from the duel. Kind of decide to go for the safe side. I do want to block the other entry space. That's why I put Articuno there. Even if he gets out, you know, another Pokemon, I am able to go there freely. But now that I look at it, you know, if he put something to the left and then move back with the Deoxys, I was not going to be able to do that. So he decides to go with the Frogadier or whatever. And right now it is just a perfect time to keep moving forward with my Sceptile. Right there I just kind of, you know, his left corner, you know, what would be his left corner for me, or, you know, his right for him, whatever. It's kind of clustered, and there's not a lot of mobility going on except for the Ho-Oh and the, you know, the Deoxys. Right there I do get the Roost, kind of a, maybe not the best roll, but, you know, he has 100, that's not really that great. I do get the Fly, and I am so thankful that you know, he didn't get the the yellow attack, because, you know, getting knocked by a Deoxys speed, it's not really fun. That's let's just leave it at that. No Deoxys attack, which, you know, there's not really a lot of priority for the Metagross to join the party right now. The Ho-Oh gets the Rainbow Wing, decides to move 2 spaces away, or, you know, 2. It's kind of weird, you know, yeah, whatever. I decide to go once again for the Deoxys, and thankfully the piece of shit is just eliminated from the duel. So it's already 5 on 6, really huge, you know, advantage, and well, that's pretty nice. Alright, so there are a couple of times in the series where the enemy is going to, you know, just take a little bit of a, you know, just kind of a longer time to do it. He decides to go for that shit, you know, for the X attack, but thankfully my Articuno, you know, has that under control. So it's now 4 on 5 still. My Metagross, you know, there hasn't really been any reason for him to join, and there's not really a lot. I mean, it's already, you know, super huge disadvantage for him. It's already 5 on 3. Decide just to go for the entry point, whatever, you know, because otherwise I can move with either the Reshiram or the Sekram and kind of surround the little turtle. I honestly don't know what it's called. Get another Roost, that's pretty nice. If he doesn't move defensively, I am free to surround it, and next move could potentially be the game. Well, I mean, in 2 turns it could be the game, because obviously I would much rather trade my Articuno for his Metagross and have the goal open. But so far, we'll take it a step at a time. He decides to go for the attack, and nothing happens. It was kind of a good idea, but you know, it wasn't really that great. Decide to overdrive my Sekrom because that's a really good matchup. Only 1/4 of Metagross's wheel can affect, or you know, I guess knock out my Reshiram, you know, which is a Hyper Beam, or he can roll the Bullet Punch into my Fly, which wouldn't be too great. And either way, if he decides to attack, I can just, you know, fly over and trade my Reshiram for the Ho-Oh, which would be, you know, really nice. So right now, it's already game over. He, way unfortunately, got to the miss on the second turn, and that's just going to be pretty sad. Ending up with 5 of my Pokemon on the field versus, you know, 1 of his, and this is just, you know, I guess to kind of prove a point, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the, what is it, I guess the first match. We have 3 matches right here, all of which are going to be, you know, kind of, maybe not that fast, but they're going to be faster than some of them. They're still a little bit sped up compared to the next ones that we'll see, because as the I guess the knowledge of, or the rating of my opponents increases, we're going to, oh, and by the way, I get a promotion right there, which is super fucking nice. So that puts us in, let me just go ahead and take out my game and, you know, kind of show what it is. You know, it will be in the title, so that's not going to worry about. So we are in the champion tier right now, and that is actually what the thing will be called, whatever. I still have to kind of figure out a way how to call these videos, so yeah. Alright, so jumping into our second opponent, and I believe, from what I saw, I got an orange booster. As for the time that I'm recording this, and ever since these videos were recorded, I haven't really gotten a rainbow booster. I haven't seen any of those in like a month. That is so sad. Maybe I haven't been playing as much. I've been focusing more on the gym cups, but you know, it's really sad. Anyway, if your opponent has a Ghastly, you want to go for your goal as soon as possible, because if you have 2 Pokemon surrounding it, you know, Ghastly's abilities means that you cannot surround him, so he can go for your goal even if there are 2 Pokemon around your goal, and that is just going to be so fucking sad. So I don't really want to put up my Sceptile against the Leafeon because he can just move right past him, and that's a, you know, it's a good matchup, but it's really, you know, I wouldn't exactly like to deal with that. So what I do right here is just like, maybe what's the best move, right? So I decide to put my Articuno kind of to challenge that, and I check out his plates. He has 2 hurdle jumps, which, you know, kind of makes me assume that he has, you know, that he's going to use one of them. Would be a nice idea, but, you know, still, the board is way too open for him to do that. And with Articuno Soar, I mean, it's basically a free hurdle jump over anything that is not, you know, a fucking Articuno Zapdos or Moltres. So, the Ghastly starts advancing. I just, you know, think that this is kind of a bad idea. And already my Greninja is going for my goal. I really do not want to deal with that. It's a really annoying figure, especially if you're not prepared and if you don't know the cheese that, you know, involves kind of going for it. So right now, 100% have to go for my goal, otherwise, you know, it's obviously game over. So right there, this is kind of an awkward position for him because, you know, he doesn't really have any means to, you know, kind of get to my, you know, well, he already did with a Ghastly, but, you know, what I'm saying is that, you know, it's not completely, you know, sealed down for me right now. I decided to risk it for the biscuit, and it really thankfully pays off. I get rid of the Glaceon. Now, if my Reshiram got, you know, frozen, I could have just overdrive that shit, and, you know, that was just going to be it. Now, right here, I cannot surround the Leafeon, obviously, because the, you know, Ghastly is just going to be able to go for the goal. Check out my Articuno, and I'm like, what can happen right here? So I decide to rush for the goal, see if, you know, he can actually contest it with anything. Otherwise, you know, he has to defend, or is he's just going to, like, not going to, his push is not going to be of any use. So right here, I do get the dodge. That's super, super lucky. And right now, let me see. So I kind of think for a second that this is kind of a really nice way to do this because, he can either go for my Articuno with his Umbreon or, the Flareon. He decides to attack, but that is a really, really bad matchup. And since both of us rolled blue attack, it's just a neutral turn, and I'm going to be able to soar through it. Even, that is a really bad matchup. The only way that that I didn't have this win guaranteed is if I rolled a miss into his attack, and there's not a lot of ways that can happen. So, as you can see, I'm gaining a lot of rating, but I'm not gaining as much monthly ranking, whatever. That's how it works. Once you are way, way up, in the rankings, the duels are going to give you way less, and for a loss, you're going to lose so much. Like, right now, as we get into the match, I guess I can kind of explain this. If you are, let's say, top 1,000, right? And if you, keep going, you will gain around maybe, if you're lucky, you gain 15 monthly rating for each win. However, if you lose, since you are playing against people, your global rating, there's not a guarantee that they are also high up in the monthly rating. So if you lose, you can lose. I mean, I have seen up to 45 monthly rating loss, which is so fucking devastating. It just takes so much once you are like way up there. So this match, triple fucking Reuniclus, that's so fucking gay, right? Right out of the start, and I am not really feeling too confident about this shit. So I decided to set up my, board this way, which was kind of a mistake because now the Moltres can just soar over, anything I put out there. So I am already in kind of a bad situation. I do decided to put the Metagross and, just go for the Gold Block right away. The Metagross is not that great of a matchup against the Moltres, but it has a way better chance of taking it out, rather than, just having my Articuno. He decides to X attack it. I'm not really sure why, but thankfully he does only get the Flame Charge. I decide to back it up, and next turn either he has to attack it or he's gonna get surrounded. And even if my Metagross gets knocked out, I can just Hurdle Jump over, and I'm gonna be kind of safe for another turn, and hopefully maybe kind of overdrive that shit and maybe not be that worried about it. He activates the Flame Charge, burns Metagross and the Zekrom, which I can heal right away with my Overdrive. I decide to jump here because he doesn't have a 3 movement speed Pokemon, but this is kind of bad. Well, I mean, it's not really that bad. Right here, he has to attack, otherwise I just win the match. Or use his Hurdle Jump. If I was running double Hurdle Jump, he had to attack there. And if, any of us got a fucking dodge or whatever, it was obviously going to be game over. Unlike other games where I didn't really want my Metagross out because I didn't really need it, against the fucking Reuniclus, you want to put that shit out there as soon as possible. Otherwise, it's obviously, people who use triple Reuniclus still have no idea what they're doing. They're super bad at the game. And, even if it's nerfed, it's still, kind of sad. I do get the Fly. It's not that bad because I have a free space above or, next to my Articuno, which is pretty good. And right there, I do get super bad roll. Lately, my Greninja hasn't really been the best, and I'm kind of sad about it. Thankfully, I do get the neutral turn, and even though it's 6 on 4, 6 on 4, I'm not really feeling that bad. I decide to go for the Keldeo, even if I get the, I think it's a Hydro Kick that he has, that sends you back to the bench. It's not going to be that terrible. So right now, just kind of stalling for a little bit, and I really want to take that shit out. I can't really move my Articuno, otherwise, he's just going to surround my Reshiram. I do decide to go for the, for the freeze right here, and this is kind of a weird position because, now I have to leave my goal open, so I can unfreeze it. Otherwise, if he attacks it, boom, he's going to just become fucked. And get the Fly, kind of stalling a little bit. He gets the Hydro Kick. Right now it's 3 knockouts against 0. And right now I'm not feeling too great about it. But still, it's not that terrible. Maybe I can pull something off. I decided to risk it for the biscuit once again with my Sceptile, and that's so fucking great. I mean, knocking out one of the Reuniclus is just a huge, huge fucking help, right? I do get my, what do you call that shit? The Ice Charge once again. I do decide to activate it, and here I'm thinking, should I go for the Moltres or the Keldeo? I decide to go for that because if next turn he moves with a Vibrava and unfreezes one of the Reuniclus, I have one turn, you know, in order for me to hope to knock out the Moltres, since the frozen status, you know, it's just 100% kind of, you know, miss. Right here, you know, I didn't actually see this, and he didn't see it either, right here in the first turn, but it's like, yeah, you know, if I go up there, the Reuniclus could have moved over his Moltres and, you know, kind of surround my Articuno. He does see it right here in, you know, this next turn, which is pretty sad. And right there is just, you know, just another knockout for me. That's so sad. He can both surround and unfreeze the Moltres, which is so fucking sad for me, dude. It's just like, peace, you know. He does decide to go for that. I'm so sad. I didn't realize that, you know, that was even going to happen. Right now, I just start rushing for the goal. Right now, I'm not really that worried about my own goal, but right there, I do get super fucking lucky, and since the fucking Reuniclus got nerfed to the ground, you know, there's not really anything he can do about it. And thankfully, he does decide to goal block, and now it's 4-on-4. It's a little bit more balanced and shit. Decide to go for the Vibrava once again, and I get a Screech. That's kind of sad. But right there, you know, it's just kind of waiting for a really good roll. I mean, there's really low chance that my Sceptile gets knocked out, because even if I roll my yellow, the Vibrava still has like over 50% purple attack, which, you know, is obviously going to be really bad for him. I do get a really lucky dodge. I do go for another attack, and check it out, we get the Mud Shot. Now, the only thing he can do is hope for the Keldeo to, you know, kind of to land either against my, you know, my 30. Thankfully, even though I roll on it, he rolls into a miss, which is his worst possible fucking move, and I do get myself yet another victory, so that's pretty nice. And, yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, or, you know, maybe not this video, we have a couple of seconds from what I see right here. I do get plus 13, not a lot, but as you can see, my global rating is up like a fucking rocket, and I am so happy about it, so... yeah, that's a really nice up from tanking your shit. So right there, I do decide to go for my records kind of to show, and I am 20-1, and, you know, also my global wins and losses is still pretty good. Ranking, well, you know, what that got me was from 159, I believe, at the beginning of the thing, to 130. So right now, I'm, you know, super happy, even though it's like, you know, like I said before, this was, you know, recorded right at the beginning. It's not gonna last for long. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you in the next video when we tackle some matches in the next tier. Have a great day, and I will see you then.